Hello, my beautiful movie people. Thank you so much for clicking on another episode of Side Flick. My name is Chris. Let's dive into some of the movie news we're going to discuss here today. Some of the stuff we're going to be talking about here is we got our first look and teaser trailer for Hellraiser. Been very excited for that, along with Warner Brothers announcing release dates for some other horror movies with actual plot synopsis, but also the continuing trend with these Side Flicks talking about how Warner Brothers is messing up big time and how a recent release date change makes a big problem for the DCEU. That along with so much more, so you guys already know the drills, your opinions down below, hitting that like button, hitting subscribe, staring at me. We good. Alright, so the first thing I want to dive into here today is touching upon some of the trailers that came out, and we got our first trailer for the live-action Pinocchio movie that a lot of people were hating on when we got this first look image the other day, when I really did not understand the hate when this literally just looks like Pinocchio brought to life. Like, it's as simple as can be. Plus, with this being a live-action Disney remake, it's already on the hate train for a lot of people, but let me tell you, this first trailer I thought was gorgeous, man. I'm someone who loves that original Pinocchio movie, and everything I saw from this trailer, it gave me the feels. I was getting little goosebumps when the Pinocchio song was coming on, when I was seeing some of the iconic moments from the animated movie brought to life. I think it's definitely going to pull at my heartstrings. I'm actually thinking this will be one of the better live-action remakes, so surprising that they're just going to drop it on Disney+. I'm actually really pumped for this. If you actually wanted to see my reaction to the trailer for the very first time, I posted it on my TikTok. But this is a definite treasure for me, and I'm really looking forward to this Pinocchio film. And since we're talking about Disney Plus, let's talk about something else that was announced this week that confused a lot of people out there. Hairy Cheeks coming to the platform. We got here the announcement that a King Kong live action series is in early development on Disney Plus. In the article they have it here that the series would be a serialized drama that would explore Kong's origin as well as the mysteries of his home, Skull Island. Now, a lot of the confusion came from people wondering, is this part of the Monsterverse? Is this about the same King Kong we saw smack around Godzilla and make him his lizard I'm still salty he lost, okay. And well, like a lot of true King Kong fans might know, the ownership to that IP is very complicated. But when it really comes down to is that the original book that King Kong was based off that came out back in 1933, that basically inspired the classic version of the King Kong story where he was on Skull Island, people go see him, then they bring him to the big city, he gets loose on top of a tower with a woman, and then planes go after him. So all this to say, this is not the same King Kong from the Monsterverse, and it is completely separate and its own thing. So now with all that said, I'm still excited for it. I think the King Kong story is an interesting one. I think Disney is going to take the more dramatic approach, so this won't really be like an action-packed King Kong show. I'm curious to see how much money they put into it, how much of a big King Kong we'll get, whether we'll see other big monsters on Skull Island. Also, even intriguing for them to explore why Skull Island is one of the only places that is still having prehistoric creatures. So you know what? I'm down for this. It could be fun. Disney really needs some other shows that aren't Star Wars or Marvel on that platform to get me watching, because so far those are the only show related things I watch on Disney Plus. And with this news coming out, we'll probably get more information at D23 September 9th, so let me know if you guys are excited for this King Kong series. Moving on here, talking about some horror movies, let's start off with the first little teaser trailer for the upcoming Hellraiser reboot titled Hellraiser. Now, when I say this is a teaser trailer, it is literally just teasing you, giving you the name Hellraiser, with giving us our first look to the new Hellraiser played by Jamie Clayton. And I gotta be honest with you guys, this pumped me up. This got me excited, man. Hulu right now is kind of on a roll after Prey. So I think a lot of people have it in their minds that Hulu original movies are actually good films. And I think it's gonna help Hellraiser get some audiences looking at it, and I'm excited for this. It's going back to that kind of original Clive Barker novella. The actual plot synopsis they have here is a young woman struggling with addiction comes into possession with an ancient puzzle box, unaware that its purpose is to summon the Cenobites, or Cenobites, I get corrected either way, a group of sadistic supernatural beings from another dimension. With David Berkner attached, the director of The Night House, I feel like this could be something special. And when even going back to this teaser and seeing what they're going to go with for the look of Hellraiser, it is like extremely faithful to what we know Hellraiser to look like. It doesn't seem like they're taking much inspiration on the look, and I bet you a lot of people didn't even realize this is a different actors playing Hellraiser. Now, with all that said though, I still have my reservations because, believe it or not, I'm just someone who's not a huge fan of a lot of the Hellraiser sequels. Like, I like the first 3 movies, then after that, what happens? It's always kind of surprised me as a horror fan how much of a following Pinhead has, but I guess that design is cool along with those monsters. Also, let me know if you guys would want me to do a review series where I go through each one of those movies and talk about them leading up to this one. I usually don't do it for movies that are coming to streaming, but Hulu showing me, they're actually good films and it'd probably be worth it to do. The next horror movie here is one that got announced a release date and confirmed to come theatrically in April of 2023, Evil Dead Rise. This is the new Evil Dead reboot movie that we first heard was coming straight to HBO Max, but with Zaslav and Discovery changing things up, they said, nah, let's take this to theaters, which, hey, let's just be happy they didn't cancel it or sell it off somewhere else. Really happy to know it's getting that theatrical release like a lot of horror movies deserve. The current plot that they released for this goes as, in the 5th Evil Dead film, a road-weary Beth pays an overdue visit to her older sister Ellie, who is raising 3 kids on her own in a cramped LA apartment. The sister reunion is cut short by the discovery of a mystery book deep in the bowels of Ellie's building, giving rise to flesh-possessing demons and thrusting Beth into a primal battle for survival as she is faced with the most nightmarish version of motherhood imaginable. That right there should be exciting to Evil Dead fans. It's basically a new setting and location. Most of the time we're in a cabin in the woods. Now we're in an apartment building in LA. We also got some kids involved, which I think is the first time for the Evil Dead franchise. We rarely see kids get involved with this. I think it's always cool to bring a fresh new take on the world, and if it's going theatrically, they must have some faith in this movie being great. Let me know if you guys are excited for Evil Dead Rise to be going theatrically and what you think of this plot synopsis. The other horror movie here that got a release date announced that I bet a lot of people forgot about is The Nun 2. It's right now being set to come out September 8th of 2023, so basically in 1 year we'll have The Nun 2. The current plot that they released for this movie goes, in 1956 France, a priest is murdered and an evil is spreading. The sequel to the worldwide smash hit The Nun follows Sister Irene as she once again comes face to face with the demonic force Valak the Demon Nun. Now, to me, some of the Conjuring movies have been very hit or miss, especially these spin-offs, and I'll just tell you right now, The Nun is my least favorite out of all the Conjuring movies, which is kind of surprising because The Nun in The Conjuring 2 was like the scariest thing in the universe. But then when they gave her her own spin-off movie and I went to watch it, oh, it kind of made me lose all the scaredness I had for her. I didn't find it that interesting. I found the story kind of boring. I wasn't invested in it. And then with the second movie coming, I'm only giving it the benefit of the doubt because I didn't like that first Annabelle movie, but then the second Annabelle movie frickin' ruled. So I'm kind of hoping the same thing happens here, that they learn their mistakes from the first Nun, and the second one is a lot better, a lot scarier, a lot more interesting. But I gotta tell you, expectations are set low. At least we have a release date now. What do you guys think about The Nun 2 coming out next year? And before we get to the other release date changes of some big superhero movies, let's talk about one that recently got killed, Batgirl. It got announced by The Hollywood Reporter that there is going to be a secret Batgirl screening held on Warner Brothers lot for the cast and crew and people who worked on Batgirl. It's being described as a funeral screening before they lock away the footage, or actually worse, they delete it entirely. That is something that is being said in this article. They have it here. Several sources suggested that Warner's might make the drastic move to actually destroy its Batgirl footage as a way to demonstrate to the IRS that they will never be any revenue from the project. Remember, one of the whole reasons Batgirl and Scoob was canceled and not going to be released is so that Warner Brothers can get a tax write-off, and legally that meant that they can never profit from this movie and show it to the public. And now, to show their loyalty to the freaking IRS and government, Warner Brothers is seriously considering burning and deleting all that footage. This is insane, man. I can't believe how far it's gotten with the Warner Brothers and Discovery drama. It's cost them so much money in the stock market because their stock has plummeted. All this drama and bad press, I don't know if it was worth it, Mr. Zaslav. I also just can't imagine spending months, hours, hard work, millions of dollars on making a movie, and you just hit the erase button like nothing? Also, all for the IRS? Like, this is trippy movie news stuff I never would have predicted I'd be talking about. Let's hope they just put it in the vault, lock it away, and then sometime 10, 30 years in the future even, this will get released and we'll watch it, and we won't even care by that time, I think. But still, I throw it off to you guys. What do you think about Warner Brothers holding a funeral screening and also possibly wanting to delete the footage entirely? Moving on here now, talking about the mess that Warner Brothers has created with their DC universe. I don't even know where to start. This is mainly concerning Aquaman 2 and The Flash. Originally, when there was no delays, no COVID, nothing like that, we would have The Flash come out first. That would set up Michael Keaton as the new Batman of the DCEU. DCEU, and because he would be the new Batman of DCEU, Aquaman 2 was going to have a cameo introducing Michael Keaton into that movie, connecting the universes together. But then through delays and changes and drama, Aquaman 2 was now coming out first and The Flash would come out next. And this made it very confusing and test audiences when they didn't understand why Michael Keaton Batman showed up in that movie, because he wasn't established yet through The Flash. So this is where Discovery and Warner Brothers thought, well, we got to correct this if Aquaman 2 is coming out first. Ben Affleck Batman, we need you to come back, refilm that Michael Keaton cameo and have you in there, because that'll make sense for the universe right now. So that was all fine and dandy, and now a couple weeks later, turns out Warner Bros. Is like, yeah, let's delay Aquaman 2 to December of 2023 and not move The Flash at all, now making it again where The Flash comes out first and Aquaman 2 comes out second, causing a whole bunch of speculation and overthinking in the DC universe with, what the hell did they do now? Because one could make the argument maybe they knew this release date change was happening months ago. They had this plan out and this is just the first time they make it public. And a lot of wishful thinking and Ben Affleck fans think that Zaslav loves Ben as Batman, doesn't like Michael Keaton, so he forced this change to happen to get rid of the idea of Michael Keaton becoming the new Batman and then have him move forward, which, hey, I would love to believe. As much as I like Michael Keaton and want him to be in The Flash and have his adventure, I always did think it was a weird move to then all of a sudden make him the main Batman of the DCEU. That's just so odd. I understand why they did it, because at the time Ben was saying everywhere he doesn't want to be Batman anymore. But over time, Ben has obviously changed his mind, because he's come back for cameos and other roles, and he's even recently said he had a lot of fun on the Aquaman 2 set playing Batman again. But then the business person in me who's thinking realistically goes, if that's really what the DCEU is doing now, getting rid of the Michael Keaton idea and now having Ben continue on as Batman, well, that means you got to reshoot the ending of The Flash then, and that movie for sure has to be delayed then. Because as of right now, that's the ending of The Flash. Michael Keaton will be Batman, and we have heard nothing about them changing that ending. So if you have The Flash come out first and it establishes Michael Keaton as Batman, that means you just wasted thousands, maybe even millions of dollars filming a Ben Affleck cameo that is now useless, and you just go back to the Michael Keaton cameo that was originally there for Aquaman 2. Either way you look at it, it's a clear indication that Warner Brothers has no idea what they're doing, and they're just throwing stuff at the wall like always. Ay, mamma mia. ¿Qué está pasando? I throw it off to you guys. What do you make of this mess? I know I'm obviously overthinking it, but either way you look at it, there's a clear problem, right? But that is all the movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.